It's time for Dodger baseball.
Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
Play from Kershaw. This is a no-hitter.
Turner in the air to center field. That ball's hit well. Martinez on the run. This is way back. And it is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner.
And for the second consecutive season, the Dodgers are going to the World Series.
Bellinger hammers the ball. It's Bellinger's turn. Lifts a fly ball to left center field. Back towards the wall. It is gone. Mookie with another 3-home run game.
That is how it's done, Dodgers. Dodgers get the win tonight 8-1, and they beat the Astros, and they get a much-needed bounce-back game there from Kenley Jansen, who comes in. They put him right back on the horse, and he gets the job done. Granted, it was a nice cushion there, a little 7-run cushion there for Kenley Jansen, but the Dodger bullpen, they balled out tonight. The Dodger bullpen, they combined to give up just 4 hits and 1 earned run tonight. Take a bow, Dodgers bullpen, a much-needed bounce-back game for the Dodgers. The Dodger offense, they got it going via the home run ball. We're going to break down all of tonight's action, but my name is Doug McCann. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. You know how we get down here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. We get things kicked off where you show us where you represent Dodgers Nation from. Give me those cities, zip codes, area codes. Throw those into the comment section along with your fire Dodger takes. Throw those in there, and we're going to break down all of tonight's action. A little less eventful tonight, but the Dodgers get the win, and more importantly, they win the season series. The Dodgers take 3 of 4 from the Houston Astros here in 2020. And tonight was a nice win for this Dodger team. And credit to all the bullpen that came out and they did the job today for this Dodger team. It was a bullpen game. Brusdar Graterol, he got the Dodgers off to a great start. I think the player of the game for the bullpen, the win, actually goes to Victor Gonzalez. Victor Gonzalez, he pitches 2 frames, has 2 strikeouts, and gets a hit. But we're going to break down all the action. But first, let me know where you're hating, where you're trashing the Astros tonight. Let me know down below in the comments. Let's jump right into the action. Bruce Davis, finally the Jansen we all know. Yeah, Kenley Jansen. They were showing them in that warming up, and they were showing him sitting there. It was a little depressing, and then word got out. Look, last night was a bad night for Kenley Jansen. Make no bones about it. Kenley Jansen had a rough night last night. Look, I remember back in the day when Kenley Jansen came in, it was like he was going to lock it down. Now when he's in the game, I want to lock myself in the bathroom until it's over. Last night was bad, but a nice step in the right direction. And give Doc some credit for calling this number. Here was it was really the cushion was so big, it wasn't going to make a difference, but definitely they're showing some confidence in Kenley. They're saying, hey, we're going to need you in the postseason. Kenley Jansen comes there in the 9th inning, and he gets Correa to fly to left for the first out. He strikes out Reddick on a slider, and then he gets Maldonado to ground out. But yeah, the bullpen, much better night for Kenley Jansen. We own Greinke. That's from Doug Crosby. Yeah, Mookie Betts, another home run off Greinke. How about Corey Seager? Corey Seager has dominated Greinke in his career, and Zach Greinke, he had it going for a little bit there, but the Dodgers, they started to rock him, and they just took care of business against Zach Greinke. I hope the Padres are tired tomorrow. This is from Tammy Elias Smith over on Facebook. Yeah, the Dodgers, they improved to 33-14, and they now lead the NL West by 2.5 games. So 2.5 games headed into that gigantic upcoming series between 2 NL West foes, with the MVP on the line possibly between Corey Seager, Mookie Betts, and Fernando Tatis Jr. and the NL West title. So we're going to be breaking down that one for sure. One of the most anticipated NL West series I can think of in recent memory. But we got Jose Rod, Clippers losing and the Dodgers winning 3-1 series again. Yeah, the Clippers, that was hilarious. I hope the Padres, we got Patrick McFarland, should have been a sweep, but maybe Jansen needed a wake-up call. Yeah, Kenley Jansen tonight, he was much better at hitting his spots. Yesterday, he just was missing the target completely. Kenley Jansen didn't have very much velo on that four seam, didn't have that slider working, and that's on Dave Roberts to be able to identify that. He has to realize that if he doesn't have that slider going, if the velo's not there, if the slider's not cutting, you got to get someone up in the bullpen. You can't sit on your hands. You cannot just sit on your hands and let Kenley Jansen do what he did last night, 5 hits and 5 runs in that inning, in one of the most agonizing Dodger losses in recent memory. Look, last night, Kenley Jansen, if you were at a carnival and you were sitting at a dunk tank and he was pitching, you'd be dry right now, okay? Because that's how badly he was missing the target last night. But Kenley Jansen, I still think that he can be a viable option, not as an everyday, not as a guaranteed closer in the postseason, but he can still be effective in spots, and I think the Dodgers ultimately should revisit that closer role. But we'll jump into that. First, I want to get into some more comments here. Great win for the Dodgers. Always great to beat the Astros. And only thing bad tonight was you had A-Rod on the call. How did you guys think of Alex Rodriguez on the call, Matt Vasgersian? I think A-Rod, the whole night, it was like they were trying to justify the Astros cheating scandal, acting like they were going to turn the page at some point, acting like we were going to forget about this Astros cheating scandal. I got a message for Alex Rodriguez. Look, this is not going to go away anytime soon. The Astros cheating scandal is not going to disappear like A-Rod in the postseason, okay? We will not forget about that cheating scandal, and I think that ESPN was a little irresponsible there and disingenuous to try to downplay what they did. Look, you cannot make light of what they did. They stole a World Series, and it was very serious, and a lot of people like myself and all of you guys out there are still incensed about it. So I didn't like that from ESPN. I thought they could have done a better job in just being honest about the whole situation. But Jose Rod, oh yeah, by the way, throw those zip codes, throw those area codes, throw your cities where you represent Dodgers Nation from tonight. Let's go Dodgers from Miranda over on Facebook. Christina Colomb, Surprise, Arizona. We got Santa Maria, Ruben Moreno. I thought that was Matt Vasgersian there with the Santa Maria right there. Ayala King from the 951. Doug Crosby. You know you don't got to show me your city, Doug Crosby. East Lansing, Michigan. A day one here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Armando Pedroza, Giants. Grants Pass, Oregon. Welcome. We got the 805 from Sean Johnson. We got Chandler, Arizona. Maura O'Brien. I know Maura, she's always a bottle of positive energy here on the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Jose Rod 05. Doug, who's your NFL team? Who's my NFL team? It's a good question. I've grew up here in Los Angeles. I've flirted with a couple different NFL teams, but to be honest with you, I'm not really I watch all the games. I'm like hardcore NFL fan, but fortunately I don't have a team that I just call a team, but I don't know. We'll see. I was going to jump on the Rams, but those uniforms, I couldn't do it. That logo, it looks like there's 2 bananas put together. I just couldn't do it. But who's your NFL team, Jose Rod? Let me know. But I'm an avid NFL fan, but MLB is my number one. Oscar Ruiz from the 90602. We got Danny. Mookie is Granky's daddy from Pedro Martinez. No, that's from Danny Gonzalez. My bad. You remember Pedro Martinez? The Yankees are my daddy. That's one of my favorite things. I love Pedro Martinez. But yeah, Mookie Betts, he was sensational. Gets another home run and a 2-strike home run. That's one of the things with Mookie Betts is a 2-strike bomb. He's so disciplined at the plate, and when it's 2 strikes and he knows that he's going to get something in the zone, he takes it deep, and he took a Zach Greinke changeup deep there in the 5th inning. So let's jump in a little bit of this recap. The Dodgers get 8 runs on 12 hits. They get 1 in the first with a Pollock pop. A.J. Pollock, he's just been so consistent all season long, and it's a promising sign for the Dodgers. A.J. Pollock heading into tonight, A.J. Pollock, his last 10, hitting .364. No, actually, this is my old one from yesterday. My bad. Let's see the updated one. A.J. Pollock, heading into tonight, he was 4 for his last 12 with a home run. Last 8, batting .375. And then A.J. Pollock tonight, he goes 1 for 4, but he got the Dodgers right into it. He strikes first blood for the Dodgers, and that was big, especially considering what happened last night. If the Dodgers come out, they don't score first, the Astros could have taken 2 from the Dodgers, and they would have split the 2020 matchup. So it was nice to see A.J. Pollock set the tone. He's now hitting .282 for the year, and A.J. Pollock has definitely been such a promising, such an encouraging development for the Dodgers. He's been really one of the most consistent Dodger hitters all season long. And then And then then they get 4 runs in that 5th inning. 4 runs in the 5th after a base hit from Cody Bellinger, a double from Chris Taylor, an RBI single from Kike, followed up with a 2-run Mookie moonshot that made it 5-0 Dodgers. That was the inning where the Dodgers did most of their damage, right there in the bottom of the 5th inning. An infield single for Cody Bellinger. And Cody Bellinger, that last at-bat right there where he popped out, that is Cody Bellinger. He is swinging way too big. He needs to make those adjustments. You see how he's crowding the plate like that, and they're trying to attack him high and inside. Cody Bellinger, he needs to shorten that stroke because you see it right there. It's 2nd and 3rd. I believe it was 1 out at the time. You don't need to get a 15-run home run there, Cody Bellinger. You're capable of shortening that stroke and doing a better job at the plate. So I just don't love his approach. You saw a couple times tonight, he was swinging so hard, his helmet was falling off. You saw a little bit of that Frody Bellinger on the mound, at the plate right there. So Cody Bellinger, he does need to make those adjustments, but he gets an infield single in the bottom of the 5th. Then Chris Taylor, he gets a Chris Taylor goes Chris Taylor then follows that up with a don't mind if I do check swing double to give the Dodgers runners at 2nd and 3rd, no outs. Jock Peterson grounds to first for the first out. Then Kike Hernandez, who has played much better of late. Kike Hernandez is really turning it on right now. He's 7 for his last 17 heading in tonight. Kike Hernandez, tonight he goes 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. He gets an RBI single to left to score Bellinger and Chris Taylor to make it 3-0 Dodgers. And then, like you said, Mookie Betts, he cranks a 2-run Mookie moonshot to make it 5-0 Dodgers. The 3rd career home run off Zach Greinke in 5 at-bats. He had him down 0-2, but Betts goes oppo for his 15th home run of the year, and now he's tied with Fernando Tatis Jr. That series is juicy. Who's ready for the Padres? So he's tied with Tatis Jr. for first in the league for home runs, and the ball was hit high. It was a catchable ball, but it goes right over the wall, and you saw George Springer. He was disgusted at himself, but hey, that Mookie magic, it just threw it right over the wall, a couple more inches. You know Mookie Betts, you're not going to catch that if you're George Springer. So 2 soft base hits, then a rocket shot from Kike, followed by that Mookie moonshot. Then on a full count, Corey Seager, he smokes one to right for a ground rule double for his first hit of the night and the 11th double of the season for Corey Seager. He's now 8 of 19 off Zach Greinke. So another nice piece of hitting. He hit an inside curveball. He smoked it. So that was a great sign to see him smoking, breaking balls inside right there. And then Pollock, he swings at the first pitch, flies to left for the 2nd out of the inning. Then Max Muncy goes down on a 67-mile-per-hour curveball. He was way out in front of Max Muncy. It was nice to see Max Muncy get a single there late. By the way, if you have not yet, let me know who your player of the game is. Let me know who your player of the game is. Throw that into the comments section, because that was probably his worst at-bat of the night, where Max Muncy, where he was way out in front of that 67-mile-per-hour curveball, or whatever that was, from Zach Greinke. By the way, we kind of saw our Ephus pitch tonight. That's what I was looking forward to. We definitely got that. So he strikes out. The Dodgers, though, they did damage in the 5th. He put a 4 on the board thanks to 3 singles from Cody, CT3, and Kike, and a 2-run shot by Mookie Betts. It was 5-0 Dodgers to that point. But let's jump back into these comments. Who was your player of the game? You got some contenders. Will Smith. Well, I want to talk about Will Smith in a little bit when we switch gears here. Will Smith is on fire of late. Will Smith is really cranking the ball. And Will Smith, his last 7 games. Will Smith, he goes 2 for 4 tonight. He got that ground rule double, a single. His last 7 games, he's 13 for his last 26, hitting .500. Will Smith, heading into tonight, he was 10 for his last 19, hitting .526. So Will Smith, one of the best approaches at the plate. He's staying back on everything, and you love what you're seeing with the Fresh Prince right now. He is getting jiggy with it at the plate. But here we go. The 626 from Nick Sonora. We got Spokane, Washington, Tragic Johnson. We got some funny emojis. Kenley redeemed himself tonight from Julian. Yeah, Kenley Jansen had definitely a better night. I think that we're gonna need to see Kenley Jansen in a high leverage situation to see how he fares, because heading into tonight, his last 5 games, Kenley Jansen, 9 hits, 6 runs, and his ERA in his last 5 games was 14.73, a 14.73 ERA in his last 5 appearances. So he blew that one. Since he blew that save against the San Francisco Giants, where he allowed that game-tying home run to Brandon Belt, he's really struggled. He's had a 9.45 ERA since then. He's allowed 11 hits, 10 runs, 11 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 2 home runs. And last night was not a great showing for him. Last night was really the bubble bursting for him. The dam kind of just broke on him last night. But, yeah, definitely nice to see him go out there and do what he did tonight because, hey, 8-1, it's a nice way to just get him back in there, really kind of a soft landing to bring him back in the mix and start to get his confidence up and build that momentum. Because, yes, I don't think he should be the permanent starter. I don't think he should get the call every time the Dodgers are in a tight situation late in games, but they're still going to need him, and he needs to be a viable option for this team as we head to the postseason. But we got Nick, thank you for the insurance run from CT3. Yeah, Chris Taylor is another guy who he's basically gone wire to wire, he's had some slumps, but he's picked it back up today, 280 he's batting 280, but Chris Taylor is another guy tonight who really has shown up. His last 7 games, Chris Taylor's 10 for his last 28, batting .357. And, yeah, I just wanted to get that number 5 off the board for the Dodgers. I didn't want to see them go into that inning, into the 9th inning up 5-1. I wanted to see a bigger insurance of some more cushion right there, the Kenley cushion, as I like to call it. 8-1, I think Kenley coming off of that, but that was big because late in the game, late in that inning, it was the bottom of the 8th. So bottom of the 8th, A.J. Pollock, he lines to short for the first out. Max Muncy, it was a big-time hit for him to get that. It was really big to see Max Muncy get off the schneid. He bloops one into center for a hit, making him 1 for 4 on the night, and he needed it. Max Muncy, his last 8 games, batting .143, 4 for his last 28. Heading into tonight, he was 1 for his last 11 with 5 strikeouts and 3 walks. So to see him get a hit there wasn't hard contact. It was a little bloop single, but a much-needed hit for Max Muncy. And then Will Smith, he smacks a ground rule double into right. Another hit for Will Smith. And it was a break for the Astros because it prevented Muncy from scoring from first. And like I said, his approach to the plate, he just looks so confident up there, just finding pitches that he can drive. And then he came into the game hitting .292. He left tonight hitting .303. So he's now hitting over .300 for the year. And then Cody Bellinger, I was really looking at that at bat to see what his approach was going to be like, and it was the same Cody Bellinger that we've seen the last couple of weeks. And heading into tonight, Cody Bellinger was 2 for his last 13. Tonight, Cody Bellinger, he goes 2 for 4, and he scores a run. So there were some promising developments for Cody Bellinger, but that at bat was not a good one. He pops to left for the second out. His swing just looked a little too big, and he's spoiling pitches. He was missing a lot of stuff right in the heart of the plate, some meatballs that he's known to drive when he's at his best. And then, of course, Chris Taylor, he goes deep for a 3-run shot. But here we go. Let's jump back into this comment section. Let me get some predictions. I want some predictions for the Padres series. Let me get some predictions for the Padres series. Will the Dodgers win the series against the San Diego Padres? They're currently up 2.5 games in the NL West. Let's jump back in this comment section. We got Sarah, Bleed Blue, Dodgers for life. That's the motto forever. I love that. Keep that same energy. That is the motto, Dodgers for life, from Fernie Valenzuela over on Facebook. Lil Gomez, let's head to San Diego and win. Yeah, let's get those good vibes rolling again for this club. Yesterday was definitely a nightmarish loss. It was still a regular season game. It was still a game that, in the grand scheme of things, is not going to hurt the Dodgers very much if they can take care of business down south in San Diego. We got Torres. Shout out to Hideo Nomo. Hideo Nomo, one of my favorite Dodger players ever. We can spend a whole episode on Hideo Nomo one of these days. But yeah, shout out wherever you are, Hideo Nomo. A-Rod is almost as annoying as Jessica Mendoza. That's from Dominic Core. Yeah, that's up there. They're definitely. I mean, A-Rod, I'm like, bro, of course A-Rod would try to defend a cheater because we know A-Rod is a cheater, and I just didn't like it. Did not sit well with me, them trying to they should have just not mentioned the cheating scandal at all. They should have just left it alone because everyone at this point, if you're tuning into this game, you're very aware of the chicanery from the Houston Astros and everything that went down. And I think they should just left it alone instead of trying to frame it in a way where, oh, Dusty Baker is the perfect manager to get them a fresh start. No, just stop. The Houston Astros did wrong, and it's going to take time, and we'll let you know when we're ready to move on because I'm pretty sure, just check my watch, it's going to be never, okay? That's what it's going to be. We got Henderson, Nevada, Donnie Thompson, go Dodgers, Kaner, Peralta. We got Neil K. Smoltz was just as bad last night. Eric Berta, the 716, Buffalo, New York. Let's go. We got... let's jump back down here. Sweep the Madres, please make from Lil Gomez. CT3, Jose Rod, Lil Gomez, sweep the Madres and make the Machado fall. Yeah, kind of like Dustin May and Brusdar Graterol. Yeah, Train, what up, Train? Welcome to the show, Train. He's a day one here. Dodgers won't sweep the Padres. I can promise you that. Train, we're gonna remember that. We're going to remember that because if it happens, I'm going to find you, Train. I'm going to find you here in the comments section, and we're going to talk about it. Because I think the Dodgers, I'm not predicting a sweep either, but if it does happen, you're calling it right now. Granky is no joke, too, from Roxanne. Deborah, Graterol had an epic inning. That's from Deborah Young over on YouTube. Yeah, I was just so happy to see Brusdar Graterol get the start. And coming off of what happened last night, everyone last night, you guys were all telling me that you want the bazooka to be the next closer for the Dodgers, and to see him out there start the game, I knew you guys were excited to see it. It reminded me of that meme where it shows a picture of Kenley Jansen in the upgrade key, and you hit that upgrade key, and you see Brusdar Graterol. Well, he did not disappoint there in that first inning. He comes out strong, sets the tone for the Dodgers, and in the top of the first, he gets Springer swinging for the first out. 200, and what I love too about his outing today is his appearance today is, yes, he's got the gas. We all know that he's got the gas, but he also was mixing in that slider, and that was his punch-out pitch in that first inning. He throws 2 100-mile-per-hour sinkers, and then he finished him off with a slider for the first out to get Springer, and then he gets Bregman swinging with the slider for the second out. Then he gives up a single to Brantley, a nice piece of hitting there. He banged a 101-mile-per-hour trash can. He banged a 101-mile-per-hour single into left, and then he gets Correa striking out on another slider. So the bazooka was firing to start things off for the Dodgers. And like I said, he's got the gas, but he was very effective with that slider. That was his punch-out pitch in that inning. He was very efficient. Just 12 pitches for Brusdar, 11 for strikes, 4 for 4 on first pitch strikes. And then he did his thing. When do you guys think he'll take over? Right now, he's 22 years of age, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he's 22 years of age. And Kenley Jansen, he takes over for Brandon League. I think he was like 24 or 25. So I don't think it's going to be this year, but I think that they have some special spots open for Brusdar Graterol. I think they have big things in the works for Bazooka. I'm proud of Kenley from Dodger Fan 16. He needs more confidence in his stuff. John Sanchez stayed up in Iowa 2 hours ahead to watch the game. Happy result today. You like today like last night. Yeah, hey, welcome Iowa in the mix. Represent over there. We got Stompy Joe. Tell Belly to watch replay of this game and take A-Rod's advice if any coach is watching at bats. Yeah, I mean, you saw right there his approach at the plate. He just looks like he's not doing what he did last year. Last year, he was making pitchers pay for mistakes. If they were throwing meatballs down the plate, it was going inside. It was going 5 rows deep. He was giving you bleacher reachers, but not this year. You see him get under stuff, and you see him starting to swing. His swing is just too big in certain counts, and I think Cody Bellinger still has time to make the adjustments. But, yeah, unfortunately, look, he did get 2 hits tonight, so it wasn't all bad. He was more selective early in the game, but he kind of regressed into some old habits there late in that one. But let's jump back into these comments. I still have big-time faith in Cody Bellinger. I'm a lot less worried about Cody Bellinger than I am Max Muncy, because Cody Bellinger, if you look at him, look, he had the Visine up there, I don't know what that was about. We all know what can affect attention spans, but I'm not saying that at all. I mean, Cody Bellinger is such a talented baseball player. He is so talented. He's as athletic as anyone out there. He has all the tools to be successful. I just think he's just, in a 60-game season, he is messing around too much with his swing. He's up on the plate. He's back on the plate. His hand movements are adjusting. I think that Cody Bellinger needs to go back, shorten that stroke, try to get on base by any means necessary. The power will come once you're more comfortable at the plate and that timing is back. He's a big-time rhythm hitter, Cody Bellinger, and I think that I still have faith that he's going to succeed this year and you're going to start seeing belly bombs on a regular basis, hopefully. We got Train. Jansen did good while he lasted. Now it's time to salvage his legacy. Wow, that's big time right there. You want to salvage his legacy. I think his legacy is pretty much intact when you think about it. I mean, coming into this season, Kenley Jansen, the all-time saves leader for the Dodgers, 310 saves. And, of course, Eric Gagne, he has the single-season record. I think Gagne's single-season record was 55, I believe. And I think that Kenley's single season was like 44 or 47, something like that. And, yeah, unfortunately, if he doesn't come through and get that last out in the World Series or a big out in a big game, this is going to follow him. People are going to remember 2017 Game 2. They're going to remember. But, look, he's not all bad. I mean, look, Kenley Jansen, if the Dodgers were going to pull off, if the Dodgers had pulled off that Game 7 where they lost 5-1, and Andre Ethier was the only guy that knocked in a run for the Dodgers, Game 6, Kenley Jansen got 6 straight outs in that one, okay? So it's not like he's been a train wreck every time he's been out there. But in 2018, he had his issues with the Boston Red Sox. So, yeah, Kenley Jansen, last year he didn't pitch that bad. I think he went an inning and 2/3 against the Nationals in the NLDS. So it hasn't been all bad for Kenley Jansen for sure, but I like what you're saying there. I mean, he has to think of it like that. He has to think that he has to think of his legacy for sure if he wants to be held in high regard and be a legend who, you want to be one of those guys where you go around town and you don't have you never want to go thirsty in this town because you get that big save and guys will buy you a beer and you're always going to be a hero. Right now, Kenley Jansen is not that guy, but it's never too late. It's never too late. I mean, look, it is too late from the sense that I don't think that Kenley Jansen is gonna really get his stuff back. I still think he can be serviceable, but the Dodgers have to stop wishing and waiting for Kenley Jansen to magically become elite again. He's never going to be that elite lights out 2016 Kenley Jansen. And like I always say, it's better to end the dream before it becomes a nightmare. And I think the Dodgers learned last night. It was a major warning sign for the Dodgers. It was like a Hollywood-sized warning sign. Imagine going to the Hollywood sign, and instead of Hollywood, it said, beware of Kenley Jansen late in a postseason game, okay? And we know by now that Kenley Jansen, you just cannot blindly go with Kenley Jansen every time it's a close game. Look, he had 3 runs in that inning and still managed to give up 5 runs, 5 hits. And like Dave Roberts said last night, that at some point performance comes into play. And to me, look, this is the Dodgers. The Dodgers are too smart of an organization to just give the closer role to someone because of seniority and what he's done in the past. Past results are not indications of future performance. They're not indicative of future performance. And I think that it opens things up for this Dodger bullpen. I think if Joe Kelly comes back and Joe Kelly's effective, I think between him, I think last night they should have gone to Jake McGee. Jake McGee, he did his thing tonight too. Jake McGee, he goes 1 inning, gets one punch out, 12 pitches, 10 first strikes. But the bullpen as a whole, they did their thing. But let's jump back into this comment section. I have a question for you guys. If it's not Kenley Jansen as the Dodgers closer, who do you have the most confidence in? Who do you have the most confidence in late in the game? Is it Joe Kelly? Is it Brusdar, the Bazooka, Brother Gatorade, Gratterall? Is it Blake Shriner? Is it Jake McGee? Let me know down below in the comments. Who do you have the most confidence in that Dodgers bullpen? Let me see. F the Stros from Sean. Big facts. Agree. That's what's up right there, Sean. F the Stros. I think you said it for us all. Stompy Joe, yeah, he's annoying, but his advice on Belly was on point. Yeah, look, A-Rod has been in this league for a long time. Even before he did steroids, he was an elite player. So I definitely think that, I don't doubt his baseball acumen. CT3 needs to play every day, postseason included. That's coming from the great Tim Rogers. The Dodgers prospect guru. Go follow him over at SD Dodger and Dodgers 2080. He's the prospect guru, and I agree with you. Chris Taylor has put together one hell of a season, and Chris Taylor, like I said, look, Chris Taylor's last 15 games, he's slashing 315, 383, 556. 16 strikeouts to 5 walks. So earlier in the year, those strikeout to walk ratios were a little closer. So you want to see him improve upon that. But he's giving you good at bats, and 17 of his last 54, and then you stretch that back to his last 30 games, he's hitting 290. So what I look for is the consistency, is when you're going through a slump, do you fall off the face of the earth? Because you fall off the face of the earth, because we've seen that with guys like recently Jock Peterson. Congratulations on the kid and all that good stuff. But Jock Peterson, he struggled, and when he falls off, it's like he's giving you nothing out there. Kike Hernandez, he's playing well of late. You got to give Kike Hernandez his love, show him some love, because he's played well. But I agree with you 100%, because the great thing about Chris Taylor is he's versatile. He gives you that position, that positional versatility that you look for. You can throw him in the infield, you can throw him in the outfield, you can put him at DH, but I want to see his bat in there. And the thing I loved about Chris Taylor was when he scored that run there in the 5th inning was his legs. You saw his athleticism, and you saw it on that play on full display. He had his wheels on, and he had those wheels on, and he goes into 5th gear. He turned on the turbo boosties, and he goes in there, turn on that NOS. He turned on the NOS there late, and not a lot of guys can score from second on a hit like that from Kike Hernandez. So I think he almost has some Mookie in him, where he just does a lot of things very well, and I agree with you 100%. I want to see him in there, and I think that you just never know, too, when he's going to take off on one, and he's going to scorch one. And look, Barrels are overrated, but he's found a way to hit for power this year. This year's really been a very great year, a year that I didn't expect from Chris Taylor. I thought that Chris Taylor was going to trend downward, but he's trending back upward, and I think that CT3 definitely needs a permanent role in the postseason. Lamet, Davies are the only pitchers. Padres need to win the series. That's from Train. We got Pollock and Clevenger are doing better. We got Brian Lee over on YouTube. What are your thoughts on the Padres series? Well, look, make no mistake about it. The Padres are a team that they have a world of talent. That they have a world of talent, and I think it's just going to be a big series. Like the last time we were there, we know what happened. You were just talking about Chris Taylor. You got the walk-off throw to end things, and I think that they've had this series circled on their calendar for quite some time. They know how dominant the Dodgers have been for the longest time. Look, they haven't made the postseason since, was it 2006, I believe. I believe they haven't made the postseason since 2006. They haven't even flirted with the postseason since 2010. That's a franchise, considering all the trades that Preller made when he went order 66 and he wiped out his farm system. He made all those trades to bring in Clevenger. Do I think Clevenger is a number one? I don't. Do I think Clevenger is possibly at best a 2, 3? I do. But it's the offense with them, and we know that if this bullpen and these starters find a cold streak, that they're very capable of scoring runs on this team. And look, they're hot right now. They've won 8 of their last 10 games. And the San Diego Padres, right now, they're one of the best teams in Major League Baseball, and you can't deny that. They're the teams with the 2 best records in Major League Baseball are going to be facing off this week. So I'm very excited. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you guys for this series against the San Diego Padres? Let me know down below in the comments. I mean, there's a lot of similarities with this club, the Dodgers and the Padres. And it's just so close. I mean, look at home runs. Dodgers heading into today, 87 home runs. Padres, they're tied for second with 80. So they're an offense that can mash. But look, I'm not afraid of the Padres. I think it's going to be something that this Dodger team needs. This Dodger team needs these big series as we get closer to the postseason. I think Justin Turner will be activated for that series, and I think that, hey, you got the Astros, you split with the Astros, you should have taken 4 from the Astros. Well, you take care of business against the Padres, you create some separation. They're up 2.5 games. If they win 2, if they win the series, they're going to take care of business. I'm very confident in the Dodgers in that series. But let me know down below in the comments, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the series against the Padres? I think it's going to be a big, and if anything, they're catching the Dodgers at the right time with all the uncertainty of our starting pitching, with Dustin May having the contusion to his leg, Buehler's blister. But here we go. Padres can't catch us. That's from Deborah Young. Greg Wilson, 8th inning setup guy for Jansen. He doesn't. I think that it's not that I want him as an 8th inning setup guy. I just want them to be selective in certain 9th innings. And when you're playing the matchups and you're look, you have a guy in the bullpen out there letting you know, does Kenley have it tonight? Look, does Kenley Jansen have it tonight? Is his slider, does it look like he has the feel for his slider? Is the velo respectable? Does he have the feel for that cutter? And then, hey, you make a decision based on that. And I just want the Dodgers just to be smarter when it comes to just throwing him out there, because to me, this organization is too forward-thinking, too analytically driven to just throw Kenley Jansen out there and say, oh, let's hope he gets the final 3 outs. I think that those days are done. But here we go. A lot of pressure on starters to go deep. The starters only 15 times this year have the starters pitched 6 innings or more. Tim Rogers, they do that past performance stuff. Kershaw, last Game 5. Tim Rogers here breaking my heart, making me relive the NLDS Game 5 where Kershaw's in the dugout and it's raining on him. Yeah, I know. But they keep trying to rewrite Kershaw's epitaph for him, but really they're just hurting him because, like I said, he's not going to jump back in to Doc Brown's time machine and go back to 2014. And what they can do is put him in positions that he can succeed and see how he does as a starter. And I'm very high on Clayton Kershaw, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. If the Dodgers did not learn that lesson last year in Game 5 of the NLDS, where they let that one get away, if they didn't learn from letting the past performance influence their current decisions, then they never will. So I just hope, look, I've been a defender of Dave Roberts on this show for a couple years now, and I've also gone hard on Dave Roberts too, but the thing I want to see with Dave Roberts, he has NL Manager of the Year. He has a winning percentage of over 600. He's been to 2 World Series. He's done a lot of great things as a manager, but if I see that he's not continuing to grow as a manager, then that's when I'm done with Dave Roberts. And if he has that same approach this year as he did last year in Game 5 of the NLDS, that tells me that, hey, maybe it might be time to reconsider him at the helm in that dugout. So here we go. Dodgers always show, and look, it's tough. Look, managing a bullpen is not easy because you get all the blame and none of the credit, right? You get all the blame and none of the credit when you're managing a bullpen. And look, the evidence is out there. We've seen enough examples of where Dave Roberts has steered this bullpen and the starting staff the wrong way because he's either too early to get out a starter or he's too late to get out a reliever. And I still think that he's learning. And look, just like players can have a bad day, so can managers. But we know the spotlight is going to be bright on Dave Roberts, and we're going to be paying very close attention to all of his moves in the next couple weeks and in the postseason. But hell yeah, he should be our closer from Bruce Davis. Yeah, let's go jump in here. Gatorade for closer from my man Train. We got Tim Rogers, play matchups in the closer role. That's what I was saying. Yeah, you got to play those matchups. And don't just the Dodgers have an influx of talent this year that we haven't seen in the previous 2 iterations of this bullpen. You got a nice dynamic group over there and guys that are capable of getting big outs. Look, the Astros offense, yes, they're having a down year, but you saw what that bullpen did today. They gave up 4 hits against this Astros offense that is scratching and clawing to make the postseason. So there is a lot of talent out there. Michelle Carter, what's up, Michelle? She's a day one here. Bruce wants to be the starter from Train. Brian Alex Bazooka got to be the new closer. Michelle Carter, I told you Trinan before as a closer, and you show my comment. Michelle Carter, we've been on the same page. We're gonna go back in the archives. I'm gonna hit you up and show you. I've been on the Trinan train as far as someone as a potential closing option. I said that earlier in the year, but it's all good. I get it. But let me love Jansen, but he's not the guy to trust anymore in close games. Yeah, I agree with you 110%. Like I said, at one point you heard California Love and you heard Tupac and you heard Dre and you thought he was going to lock it down. Now I want to lock myself in my closet until that appearance is over. He gives me so much anxiety. I don't even want to show you. I don't even have nails right now, okay? So I agree with you 100%. Doug Crosby, Doug Crosby, calling you out, Doug. Michelle Carter, you know that I was on that Blake Trinan train, but it's all good. But yeah, look, Blake Trinan, if you look at him, Blake Trinan, his last 9 games, 8 hits, 5 runs, and a 5 ERA. So he's been more consistent. And when Blake Trinan has it, we're talking a 98-mile-per-hour sinker. When he's on, it's just, for him, it's inducing that soft contact, continue to play the bottom of the zone and hit his spots. But I'm definitely in favor. I want to see a three-headed monster. I want to see closer by committee. I've been on this vibe for 2 years now. This whole push-button bullpen thing with Dave Roberts is not going to fly. You have to mix things up. And I think that it starts with Trinan, and then we see how Joe Kelly is, and then don't forget about the bazooka. But at the same token, you don't want to lose those 7-8 inning guys because they've been very effective in those spots. So Los Angeles will be good from Gio. No love for Gonzalez as possible closer from Doug Crosby. Hey, I've been all about Victor Gonzalez as a closer. I see him more as that extended relief guy. Every time Victor Gonzalez is in the game, he's giving you 2 solid innings. And shout out to Julio Urias for hooking us up with my man Victor Gonzalez. But, yeah, he has closer stuff for sure. I've told you guys, if it doesn't work out as a starter, I think it will. Of course, Gonsolin has had a fantastic year. But if I could pick one guy on this team that, let's say, he could do both roles, or I think Tony Gonsolin has the stuff to be the best closer in Major League Baseball, if you ask me. Replying to Michelle when did the playoffs start from Greg Hacker over on Facebook. Playoffs start in a couple weeks. The playoffs will be kicking off. Biggest series coming up. That's from Ryan over on biggest series coming up. Beat the Padres. Everyone throwing a beat the Padres in there. Hashtag free Joe Kelly. How about that one last night where Corey Seager, they do some chin music on Corey Seager. No suspension on Valdez. I'm just saying. Gonna be a good series from Gio. CT3 and Will Smith are getting hot in the nick of time. Dodgers play good. We okay. That's from Peter Rojas over on Facebook. By the way, here's the time to plug the new podcast, Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout. If you have subscribed to the podcast, let me know down below in the comments, because what this podcast is, you can find it wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast these days. And we condense the post-game show where it has all your fire takes, where I read all your fire takes off, and then we add all the post-game reaction from the players and the managers and some additional analysis. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review, because it's essentially your podcast. You want to support your podcast over there, go to DodgersNation.com for more information, or go to Apple and Spotify. Dodgers Dugout, Dodgers Nation. I smell a World Series from Enrique Mendoza. We got Michelle Carter. Okay, you guys have a little sidebar convo. I see what's up. The Padres have a decent manager, so it's going to be a big fight. Yeah, I mean, to me, in your opinion, maybe it was just the Astros feels, but that had the playoff feels. The last couple of days definitely had the playoff feels, and I'm just excited. I think it's going to be a fantastic series against the Padres. And yeah, Tingler's he's an okay manager. We'll see how he does. We'll see how he fares. It's a big series for the Padres. If the Padres take 2 out of 3 or sweep the Dodgers, that's a statement. That is a major statement, no matter how you try to slice it. I think the Dodgers come in there focused and ready to go. Here we go. Since 2017, Clevenger has the 5th best ERA in baseball. How is he not an ace? Also, we didn't give up any of our top 5 prospects. Look, I think that Clevenger is an ace on a lot of staffs. I don't think that Clevenger is an ace on a World Series winning team. That's just my opinion. I think that if I had the choice between Walker Buehler, I would take Walker Buehler if I had a chance. I mean, to me, I consider elite top 5, top 7. This year, Clevenger a 4.91 ERA. Pitching with San Diego, so 4.91 ERA in his 2 games, giving up 12 hits in 11 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, a home run, and if you look at those strikeout numbers, pretty decent, 10-2, 10 strikeouts to 2 walks. And to me, look, I think that Clevenger, his best year last year, probably his best year with a 2.71 ERA. And I just want to see, look, you got to prove it to me in the postseason. Hasn't had very much postseason success. He did pitch in that World Series. He did throw 9 strikeouts to 3 walks in that NLDS. Pitched 5 solid innings in that one. But hey, it's my opinion. I don't think that Clevenger is a number 1. I think Clevenger, if he's hot, he can be a guy who can be a solid 2 or 3. There's no question about it. Look, if you had to take him over Urias right now, I think you might want to consider Clevenger. But I think Urias, he's a guy that can give you 6, so let me know. Tell Doc to stop choking from train. All right, let me hit up Doc right now. yo, Doc, we got Train. He wants me to tell you to stop choking. All right, cool. All right, he said he's going to stop choking, man. Let's go Dodgers from Jose. We got Danny. If we take 2 of 3 games, and we are good. Yeah, if we take 2 of 3, it's going to be tough for them to overtake the Dodgers in the NL West. So you go in there, you go in with a focused game plan, you don't I think the Dodgers are capable of taking 2 out of 3. Jansen, we got Seth. Kershaw versus Lamet. Yeah, you're going to see that matchup. We got, I think it's good. We got from Matt over on Twitch. I think it's good to have more competitive teams in our division. Dodgers take the series in San Diego. I think that's a great point because for a long time it's been teams that are rebuilding, they're tanking. The Giants have been pretty much nothing for a long time, a basement, a bottom feeder. It's nice to have some competition in your division. To me, it reminds me of when the Lakers had the Phoenix Suns to deal with, and the Lakers had to deal with the Phoenix Suns, and you had that nice division rivalry. It reminds me when the Lakers had the Kings to deal with. So I think it's going to make the Dodgers play up. I think it's going to force the Dodgers to stay competitive and avoid getting complacent. So I'm agreeing with you 100% on that one. Roxanne from Facebook, Dodgers learning lessons is a challenging love. Doc needs to face the facts. Agree with you 100%. We got Andres Martinez, best ERA in MLB since 2017. DeGrom, Kershaw, Scherzer, Verlander, and Clevenger. So would you say that Kershaw is an ace of a staff? I think that he's right up there. But in DeGrom, of course, yeah, to me, those are some big dogs right there. But hey, Clevenger, we'll see. I mean, he has ERA over 4 in his 2 starts. We'll see how he fares, knowing he's number one. Because in Cleveland, he was kind of, he's out number 2, number 3, didn't have that pressure of being that A starter. We'll see how he accepts that role because I think that if you look at Mike Clevenger, look, postseason against the Yankees, in 2 games against the Yankees in 2017, an inning and a third innings pitch, he got rocked in that one. And then against Houston, he pitches 5 innings, has a nice outing. He gives up 3 hits and 1 earned run, 3 walks to 9 strikeouts. I think he has great stuff. You see the spin rate plays up. He's got the velo. I like his pitch mix. He has a 4 or 5 pitch mix. So I think it's solid. But do you see Clevenger as the number 1 or 2 on a World Series winning team? I could be proven wrong, but right now I don't feel that he's that guy. Dodger fan 16 over on YouTube. Doug, what are your thoughts about our rotation? I think that when it comes to our rotation, the first guy you'd look at is Walker Buehler. So depending on how Walker Buehler looks, that's how I feel about our rotation because we need Walker Buehler to be the ace of the staff. We need Walker Buehler to come in there like he did last year, pitching 12 2/3 innings against the Nationals, against the team that would go on to win the World Series, and he gives up 1 run. So if he's rolling, like I said, if we're the Avengers, he's Steve Rogers. He's Captain America of this Dodgers rotation. If Walker Buehler is right, big game Buehler can take us deep into a postseason run. And I also feel good about Clayton Kershaw right now and the way he's pitched all season long. Clayton Kershaw has had really, save for 2 bad outings, or they weren't even disasters, but his second start against the Giants and then his start the last week against the Arizona Diamondbacks, he's had an exceptional year where he was mentioned in Cy Young talk. So I still think Clayton Kershaw can go out there and give you 6 to 7 really solid innings against elite hitters, and I still think that he's a guy where given an opportunity, he wants that World Series so bad. He has that determination and that grit to get it done in the postseason. And then after that, you like what you saw from Julio Urias yesterday. Julio Urias, look, we didn't even talk about Julio Urias yesterday, but Julio Urias, he found a way to get through 6 innings yesterday. He still has to attack hitters more and punch guys out. You want to see him walk less guys and get more strikeouts. But when it comes to just raw ability and raw stuff, I think Julio Urias is a lot closer than you realize. And then after that, I think you have a budding superstar and a phenom potentially in Dustin May, and then you have Tony Gonsolin. So I think that I feel really good about our rotation, and I think they're going to go with Dustin May over Tony Gonsolin, and Gonsolin is going to bolster that bullpen. So I feel really good about our rotation top to bottom for sure, especially if you're going to be in a pitcher's park in Texas during a large majority of the postseason. How do you guys feel about our bullpen, about our starting pitching? I meant to say starting pitching. So I feel really good about our starting staff as we near the postseason. But here we go, guys. All right, guys. So, yeah, we were really rolling today, guys. Really firing away. But let's squeeze in, like, a bunch more comments. I'm just going to go rapid fire here. And we got Joseph Megazzini. What up? A day one, a little late to the party, but what up, Joseph Megazzini? Always rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Happy birthday to Michael Wright. Hey, that was an order, right? That was a little aggressive there. Say happy birthday to me. I just did it, though. Everyone say happy birthday to Michael Wright over on YouTube. Adam FLP, what about transitioning Price to closer next season? That's an interesting thought. It never has crossed my mind. I think that when you pay a guy like that, the relationship he has with Andrew Freeman, they're going to give him an opportunity as a starter. But, hey, I'm not opposed to it if he's game for it and if he can be effective in that role. Train, Dodgers could win the World Series next season, and when our rookie starters are seasoned. Bruce Davis, that's right, John. We needed them to get hot. Exactly. Stay hot, stay healthy. That's the mentality for the Dodgers this year. Stop sleeping on McGee from Alden. Hey, I was singing his praises earlier in the show. Our bullpen is just so good and so deep. I love it from Doug Crosby. Yeah, they have been taxed recently, but for the most part, we have a lot of weapons in that bullpen, and it's only going to get better. Pedro Baez returned, and he looks solid in his first appearance back for sure. He goes scoreless yesterday against the Astros. And then Joe Kelly, he's coming back with a vengeance. And then they're going to get, I think Tony Gonsolin possibly will join the bullpen. I think they're going to mix things up. But, yeah. Bruce Davis, so where are the Dodgers going to play at in the playoffs? I think it's going to be in Texas. I think it's going to be the Rangers and the Astros stadiums. And I think the playoffs, the postseason, the World Series will be played at the Rangers' new ballpark, a.k.a. the super-duper Costco out there in Texas. We will show SD who owns the NL West. Doug Crosby, I like that. That is the mantra for the next couple of days. We will show SD who owns the NL West. It's the Dodgers and the rest in the NL West. I like that one. Chris Taylor is our happy place. I like that. Suzanne Schindler. Schindler. No, I got it right. Tammy, love the welcoming committee for the Astros. Yeah, they gave them a cheaters welcome there. Hey, man, it was pretty cool. Actually, I heard that all the cardboard cutouts were supposed to be holding signs tonight, but the Astros actually stole them. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. But, yeah, I think that was great. Sam, Seth Dam, Doug, do you see Josiah Gray pitching anytime soon with all the injuries to the starting five? I thought that if we were going to see him, it was possibly going to be this weekend. I would love to see Josiah Gray out there. I don't think so, but we'll see. And we'll see. We'll see the lead that the Dodgers have and what they're trying to do late in the season. We got Michael Wright continuing to fish for happy birthday wishes. Patrick, Dodgers are finally going to make the 88 thing of the past go blue. I like that from Patrick over on Facebook. But let's do a couple more here, guys. Thanks again, as always, for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. We got Doug got jokes from Alden. Padres are deep from Train. Dave, it seems a competitive Padres is only making us hurt more opponents to stay in front. I like that. We got Tim Rogers got an article on the rotation coming soon. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Head over to DodgersNation.com. Tim Rogers is on it. He is on it with a new article coming about the Dodgers rotation. I can't wait to read it. Adam, Dodgers are so good. Adam FLP, always have everyone talking about them. May coming back this week. I don't think so. I think you'll see him probably not, but we'll find out. I need to get the latest on that. Michelle Carter, I prefer Gonsolin over May. I think that is something that's a valid point. I think with what I like about Tony Gonsolin is he's a guy that, if he doesn't have the feel for his curve or splitter, I mean, he's a guy that can locate fastballs in the zone. But when that sinker is working, when that split change is working, you're going to get a lot of scoreless innings. And he's a little older. And I think that you can make a case for sure that you would take Tony Gonsolin, the Catman, over Dustin May. But I also think that Tony Gonsolin is a guy who could perform better out of the bullpen. So you have to look at, yes, I think he could be a better starter, but I also think he can give you some big-time key innings out of that bullpen. I think that if you brought him on with runners on, he'd be more effective than Dustin May pitching out of the stretch. I think Dustin May is more comfortable with clean innings, and I think that Gonsolin would fit better in that role. But I agree with you, though. You can make the case. We can spend an hour on that one. I hope the Dodgers sign Bauer next year from Danny. Happy birthday Michael. How old are you turning? Let me know down below in the comments, Michael. They got the birthday boy. A-Rod poop emoji from Christina Calderon over on Facebook. Roxanne, we drove by Dodger Stadium with Dodger flags all over the car and played balls to the wall to welcome the Astros. LOL. I like it. You hear Diderot playing the classic Ace of Base. I saw the signs. I heard DJ Severe. DJ Severe was playing Bang Bang with Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj. I love that. But yeah, guys, we got Hello Doug from Cassandra Gutierrez over on Facebook. What up, Cassandra? Welcome to the party here. 15 for Michael Wright, the big 1-5. What are you going to get for what do you want for your birthday? Let me know down below in the comments. The only right answer is a Dodgers World Series win. So, LA Dodger Blue, it's called Slump Train. He might not be that good right now, but it'll get better. Never lose to the AA Astros over again. Hate in-game interviews from Tammy. Yeah, I think some of them are okay. I think Kike's with the drone was hilarious. I think Mookie Betts was pretty interesting just because Mookie Betts, and I pretty much love all things Mookie Betts. But for the most part, I can do without him because to me what it says is you're trying to tell me that what's happening on the field isn't interesting. It's like you're saying that that's not good enough. And to me, I think the game of baseball is a beautiful game that's very exciting, and we don't need to hear from players during games. So I agree with you. Michael Wright, I want the Braves to win the World Series. Okay, all right. Greg Wilson, panic time if we don't win the Padres series. I don't think it's time to push the panic button, even if they lose that series. If they get swept, I think that it's going to be a tight race to win the division for sure. But I don't think that it's time to panic. I think that if the Dodgers lose that series, I think that. Look, you're really going to get nitty gritty about the final home stretch to try to close the deal on that 8th straight division title. I want to see a little matchup right here for the Dodgers final games right there. So the Dodgers, their remaining series, the Dodgers are the Padres, Rockies, A's, and Angels. The Padres remaining series, the Mariners, Angels, and Giants. So if the Dodgers lose that series, they have an easier stretch because the A's one of the better teams in the American League. Angels always play the Dodgers well. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it's time to panic because the Dodgers will be in the postseason regardless, but you want to win that World Series. You want to win that division. But Joseph Magazzini, I didn't get here late. You ignored all my brilliant comments. Homie, my bad, man. Let me scroll up. We'll get to them one by one. No, I'm just kidding. Michelle Carter, my B-Days in October. I expect Dodgers to win so my husband and kids have nothing to worry about buying stuff for me. Go Dodgers. That's what's up, Michelle. Hey, I think you're going to get your wish. I think you'll get your birthday World Series. You'll never forget it. Kathleen from Anaconda, Montana. Michael Wright, hey, can you sing Happy Birthday and I'll give you $10,000? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. No, hey, man, give me my Venmo. I got the Cash App, bro. There you go. I know it was not the full thing, so out of that $10,000, you owe me like $2,000. So hit me up on the Venmo. I expect you to see that, man. But, yep, guys, we ran a little over on this one. Thanks for rocking with us here on the Dodgers Nation post-game show. As always, head over to DodgersNation.com and do me a favor, subscribe to that podcast, Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. That's at DMac_LA. The podcast will be up tomorrow. You guys can hear all your fire takes. You can hear people be singing happy birthday to Michael. But thanks again, guys. As always, a great night for the Dodgers. A bounce-back win to beat the Astros. Dodgers get it done. 8-1. They beat the Cheats. But as always, thanks again. Remember that nothing brings us together quite like Dodgers baseball. Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Swung on and missed a perfect game.